Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are here for another Facebook Live RO Talk. But before we get started, I would like to know where everyone's from. So if you could tell us in the comments, that would be great. We'll say hi to you as you tell us where you're from. And also, while you're at it, go ahead and tag some friends to join us in the comments. But while we wait for people to start commenting, Alex, I want to know, did you watch the Olympics?
Definitely, man. How can we miss that? I think to hold the Olympics in times like this is really amazing, yeah, I think it's just great.
Yeah.
Did you?
I did. I got to watch a lot of skateboarding because I have a 6-year-old son who's very into skateboarding right now. So we watched a lot of skateboarding. That was awesome. What was your favorite sport to watch this year?
I guess I like everything, but the most memorable one would be the last sports that I watched, which is basketball. And the US managed to scrap it against the France. So congratulations to the US again.
Yes, I believe they got a silver medal for basketball. I think that's Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we have Dylan here from Belgium, and we have Robert from the Philippines, and we have another Robert from I'm going to butcher that. Dummiget. I'm really sorry if I butchered that. And then we have Greta here from the Philippines as well. So that's really awesome. But I will go ahead and introduce our live today. We are live from the SDI and TDI pages as well as YouTube. So if you have a question or a comment that you would like to be seen on today's show, please come on over to the SDI page or the TDI page or our YouTube page. You can find any of those by typing in SDI Divers or TDI Divers into the search box. I am Brittany Bozick, your friendly content manager here at International Training. So that means any blog posts that you see from us, any social media posts, our newsletters, anything like that, I'm your girl responsible for that. So if you have an idea for some content, send me an email at marketing@tdisdi.com. Now that we got that out of the way, I am joined today by Alex Yeo, a representative from Southeast Asia, from a regional office there. He's here to tell us more about where to dive in Southeast Asia. Let's see, the status of his region with COVID, and so much more. But before we get to that, Alex, would you like to please introduce yourself to the viewers?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. So I'm from Singapore. Well, Singapore is a very small country, and I'm in charge of the Southeast Asia region. I see a lot of friends from Philippines here, but I've got to tell you, Philippines is not under my care. It's under my good friend, Mr. Gunther. So I believe he will be up on your show next, right? Brittany?
He will be here sometime within the next few weeks. I can't remember the date, but he will be here.
Yeah, so all the Philippines people, just remember to tune in then to see Mr. Gunther. And then more about myself is I'm a Chinese. I actually work very well with the people in the United States. There's no tension between us. Don't worry about that. Other thing is that I like obviously I like to dive, and during my free time I do a lot of triathlon racing or rather training. So I'm fairly outdoor person. Yep.
Nice.
That's something about me.
Well, we are super excited to have you here today and to learn more about Southeast Asia and Singapore and all that it has to offer. So before we really tackle it all, the name of your office is Southeast Asia. So you mentioned you're located in Singapore, but what other areas do you serve?
Yeah, I kind of missed that out. So
that's okay.
We actually serve almost all the Southeast Asian country except Philippines. But the major one would be like Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Singapore, obviously. And the smaller countries are like Brunei, Vietnam, Myanmar, Cambodia. Yeah, so anything that Southeast Asia is, we are serving that those area, and we are very lucky to be in a very central location to all these countries with the same time zone. So it's very easy to get things done, or to chat with our business partners, or even to fly to them. It's usually just a 2-hour flight to visit any of these countries. Yep.
Yeah, that's so awesome. So now that we know what areas you serve, what brought you to international training?
Yeah, that's kind of a very funny story. I was a law enforcement officer before, and obviously I love diving. I've been diving for a big part of my life. And in 1995, international training kind of foresee that Asia is the next growth, right? Asia is always the untapped region. So then the headquarters staff, Brian Carney and Sean Harrison, I believe, came over to Singapore and met up with all the new regional office or people who are interested to join the family. So I was very lucky to be there at the same time. And I raised up my hand and say that, hey, we are interested to run this. This was way in 1995 where things were just starting out. And subsequently, I actually went for a diving trip with our president, Brian Carney.
Awesome.
So I think I got a little bit less knock than him during the dive. And then he just said, okay, you get the Southeast Asia. It's fine. So I mean, it's all coincident, and it's a very strange story. But since then, I've been with international training for, I believe last year was supposed to be the 15th year. Yeah, we're supposed to have kind of a big celebration, but unfortunately, a lot of regional travel stops. So we kind of put that on hold for a while. But with these 15 years with international training, I think I met a lot of nice people, a lot of nice friends, and diving is so fun. It's something that I won't trade anything for.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. I love that story. So moving on, what's going on in your area with COVID? Are you guys open for visitors? What's the deal?
Yeah, I mean, this COVID situation, I guess everyone knows that it's hard, and we have a lot of people from the Philippines here, which is also one of the hardest hit region. In Southeast Asia in general, or rather in the whole world, I believe the COVID has affected the countries very unevenly. So we have the developed nations that are recovering way faster, and the developing countries are taking a bit of longer time, to cope with the situation. And same for Southeast Asia. Fortunately, at my home, Singapore, the government has been, the government had quite a good planning, and we being a small country is quite easy to manage. So as of now, we are 70% of our country population vaccinated 2 doses, which is really amazing. But if we look at the region as a whole, every different countries have their challenges. So I believe with the shortage of the vaccine becoming less of an issue, we should be able to see the countries here putting out a better vaccination rollout plan and get as many people vaccinated as much as possible. There are also some good things happening. For example, if you guys may have heard of the Phuket sandbox, where vaccinated tourists can come in and don't have to serve a quarantine. They come in, they get a negative test, and they are free to roam around Phuket.
Oh, okay.
And after 14 days, they could then move to other parts of Thailand without any restrictions. So that is a good experiment by the Thai government. And after that, they have the Samui Plus program. Each is quite similar to the Phuket Sandbox program. And I think that more countries or more areas will start to adopt this if it can be proven as a success. That if you're vaccinated, I mean, maybe you could go to Bali and say if you just want to go for Bali for holiday, it's self-contained and you'll be able to roam around or other area. So it's I would say the worst is probably we probably have seen the worst, and now we are just banging on the vaccine rollout. So hopefully there'll be good opening dates for. I know that you guys want to dive, so hopefully it will be soon that you can come to Southeast Asia and dive this beautiful region again.
Yeah. So when things do open up, where would you say are the must-dive locations in your area?
Well, I have rather than me just speaking, I have some pictures lined up.
Right.
So Brittany,
one moment.
Yeah, if you could just roll the photos.
Okay, photos.
All right. So I'm just going to touch on some of the main area. All right. So the first picture we see here is actually from Malaysia. So wherever you go in Southeast Asia, being the Coral Triangle, you will see that the diversity of the marine life is amazing. So soft corals like this are easy to find. This picture is actually from Tioman Island. Yep. Next.
Okay.
So that was Malaysia, and this again is in Malaysia. So we have the West Malaysia in the previous picture, and now we see this group of bumhead parrotfish, which is a very common sighting in Sepadang. So Sepadang is like the 10 best place, one of the 10 best place to dive in the world. And Sepadang is gazetted as a protected area, so nobody can spend the night over there. So you could get a permit, dive there with the barracudas, with the bumhead parrotfish, and then you go back to the other island to stay. So the marine life there has been restored amazingly. Right. So Malaysia is definitely one of the places you should have on your list. Next.
Malaysia. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Next picture.
Okay. So for this picture, I'm going to play a game. All right. So this is an undisclosed destination in Southeast Asia. So I want you guys to guess where is this place, as in each country. But however, if you are from that country, you are not eligible. Right?
No cheating.
So type the comments, type your answer in the comment, and if you are the first one to get it right, we will send you a prize.
Awesome.
Okay. So next.
Guess where you think this photo is in the comments for a chance to win a prize.
All right, next picture.
Oh, someone says Vietnam.
Okay, no.
At a beach.
Okay, we'll sign you out when we see the right answer.
Yeah.
Just keep guessing.
Someone says Thailand.
Interesting. We can move to the next picture first while we let it roll. Right. So this picture now is Thailand. So all the people that guess Thailand, you're out. Okay. So when we think about Thailand, we think about the nice beaches, and the big ocean. But actually, Thailand has amazing cave diving as well. So what we are looking at here is one of the freshwater diving lake. And the blue things are the water pump for the villagers. And this is actually one of the places that a lot of TDI cave divers or cave divers are trained. Next picture, please.
Of course.
Okay, next. Okay, so this is one of our instructor trainer in the caves in Thailand. So I believe most of you have Each part of Thailand, someone asked, well, we have Khao Sok, which is just outside Phuket. We have Krabi, we have Song Hong, etc. Regarding where exactly the picture is, I wasn't there, but I can assure that it's Thailand because it's given by one of my instructor trainer. I have dived in the Thailand cave before, and it's amazing. Obviously, it's not Florida, but it's really as good as you get in Asia. Yeah. So, and then when I was saying that most of you guys have heard about the cave rescue in Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, you know, so you know that there are caves in Thailand that are amazingly huge, you know, and a lot are waiting to be discovered, right? Yeah, so that's the cave diving in Thailand. We have a lot of cave diving instructor there, so please go to the website and check out where they are, right? The previous picture, please.
Okay.
Okay. So another must dive place within Thailand would be Koh Tao. I mean, Koh Tao is just amazing. You know, Koh Tao is a small island, but I believe they had 50, 60 dive center. And if you take Koh Tao, the number of certification done in Koh Tao is more than many countries. Wow. The number of certification done on the island is bigger than many countries itself.
Wow, that's impressive.
So, yeah, if you are backpacking in the region, most people will stop by Koh Tao, get some dives, and enjoy the island life. And obviously, one of the most interesting marine life you can see in Koh Tao is whale shark. We can see them in Sail Rock or Chong Pon, etc. So definitely one of your places if you're thinking of backpacking across Southeast Asia, Koh Tao.
Yeah, for sure.
Next.
All right.
So actually, for each country, there are so many places to dive. So unfortunately, I can just touch on a little bit of each place. I believe that you guys can do your research after that. Right. And probably the most diverse ecosystem in Southeast Asia is definitely in Indonesia. Okay, yeah. you heard about Raja Ampat, Komodo, all these far away places where there's no distraction other than diving itself. And this beautiful picture is actually taken off Wakatobi. So to get to Wakatobi, it's very hard to get to, but one of the ways is via a private plane charter from Bali and to get to one of our SDI resort, Wakatobi Dive Resort. And it's a six-star diving service and everything is tip-top. Yeah, so we are in the work of writing up an article on Wakatobi. So I can't wait to finish it and then show it to you guys. So Wakatobi is really one of the places that you need to go along with Raja Ampat, Komodo, etc. that I just mentioned. So yeah, next.
Awesome. Looking forward to learning more about that.
So yeah, and also if you come to Southeast Asia, it's not all just the beautiful marine creatures that you will see. If you want to extend your skills, then obviously you go into a TDI course, DPV, rebreather, etc. And this picture is taken off a long-tail boat in Gili Island. Gili is a very small. Gili are three very small islands off Bali. You could reach a Gili by Bali, and on the island there's no motor vehicles. The only transportation they have there are horse carts. That's it. Wow. So there's no pollution. It's only bicycles or horse cart.
Wow.
So it's amazing. But yet over there you have amazing tech dive centers that are fully equipped, that can bring you to 100 meters if you have time there to take your training. So it's really amazing. So Gili is also one of the places you could have on your list. Next.
I recognize this photo. There's no more photos in this presentation. That was the last one. But I recognize this photo. I was trying to look up.
One?
Yeah, that's the last one. I was trying to look up really quick who the photographer is and to give him a shout out, because we repost this photographer's photos on Instagram pretty frequently.
Yeah, and I think the photographer should be Alfred.
I'm sorry, what?
Alfred.
Oh yes, Alfred is the photographer's name. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it's amazing. They shoot brilliant photographs over for the dive centers there. If you head on to the TDI Instagram page, you see lots of that.
Yeah, you'll see tons of our
so one of the I guess I missed out one of the picture, but one of the must see that if you come to Southeast Asia is definitely molas, the sunfish.
Yeah.
And the best chance to meet these sunfish is actually in Bali. Yeah, I'm sure all of you heard of Bali before, but if you go during the July to September time, there is a very high chance of seeing molas. It can be very cold. You need to be in 5 mil wetsuit. If you are from the US or the Europe, probably you're fine. But if you're Asian, small like me, okay, you need 5 mil with a hoodie, etc. But the chances of seeing the sunfish in Bali is extremely high during that time. So put that down on your list as well.
Totally.
Lots of things to see here, man.
Yeah. So there's tons of diving in Southeast Asia, no doubt about that. How easy is it to get there from other countries?
Given the number of Europeans, Americans, Russians, people coming all over the world to Southeast Asia, I wouldn't think that, I would say that getting there is fairly straightforward. In fact, once you get to any of the big capitals like Bangkok, Jakarta, or Singapore, and then traveling around the region is such a bliss. It's just 2-3 hours. You can go by roads, you can go by rails, you can go by flight. So many ways that you can interconnect within Asia.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's see. I have a question coming from here at HQ. It says, HMS Repulse and HMS Prince of Wales are two very notable wrecks that attract lots of divers. Is there anything you can add or say about these wrecks?
Yeah, sure. In fact, the Repulse is where I dive with Brian Carney on the HMS Repulse.
Hi, we're watching.
So if you can still remember that, I'm sure you can. So there, the Repulse, if my memory is right, it's starts from somewhere 36, 40 meters all the way down to 50, 56 meter. And the Prince of Wales is much deeper. But having said that, both of them are a warship of the British. So that certainly isn't, not that I can think of any restriction of us saying that who can dive or who cannot dive on the wreck. But I think I don't know, it might be a bit sensitive for somebody from certain countries, right? Yeah. So it's a technical dive. The thing is, there's also a lot of salvaging going on in that part of the area where it's not heavily policed. So a big part of the wreck might be already salvaged off, might have been salvaged off by illegal tankers. And given the situation, we haven't been able to visit these two wrecks recently. So I couldn't give any updates on this, but the best chance of diving this wreck, get over to Singapore. There are always different boats going to both of these wrecks. So you book a trip, you leave on a Friday night, and you come back on a Monday. You get 6, maybe 4 to 6 good dive on both of these wrecks. It's amazing. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. So I feel like we covered all the diving stuff pretty well. Now I want to know, what are the best tourist like attractions in your area if someone wanted to do something other than diving while they were there?
Right. Oh, before we get to that, let me just see anybody guess the correct answer to our giveaway. I can't see any answers. I can't see any correct answers. So keep guessing. You still have a.
Remember, we're guessing on this photo. If you know where this location is, put it in the comments.
Okay, let me give you a hint. There's a lot of news about this country recently. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So tell us about the tourist attractions while they think that through a little bit.
Yeah. So I mean, Southeast Asia is obviously not just about diving, right? It depends on what you like. Like if you are a cultural person and you come to this part of the region, you can get to visit Angkor Wat, or the big temple complex in Cambodia. You could also visit the largest Hindu, I believe it's Hindu temple in the world, Borobudur in Indonesia. Or lots of beautiful temples in Thailand for you to explore. That is if you're in the culture side of it. If you just want to chill, relax, then obviously you go to like a Samui, Phuket, those are actually quite busy, but there's so many nice beaches in the region that you could go to. That's if you want to chill. If you like adventure, if you like to stress your body a bit, give yourself a bit of adrenaline, well, then go climb a volcano, right? So I mean, there's always news about volcano in Indonesia. So go to one of my favorite volcanoes in Indonesia is Rinjani in Lombok. It's beautiful. You'll sleep in a tent up in the clouds. But that is still it's not an extinct volcano, so it does have an alert every few years to check the latest update. Of course, we have the highest peak in Southeast Asia is Mount Kinabalu, which is in Malaysia. So yeah, if you like adventure, and our list, and I don't know how old are our people tuning in, but if you're really young at heart and you want to party like a rock star, go to Thailand. Go to Thailand, do the full moon party, and obviously Bali has a good party scene as well. The Gili Island have amazing night party until sunrise. So actually anything you want, you can find it. You can find it in Southeast Asia.
I love it. That's awesome. All right, last question. Oh wait, hold on. Did anybody guess our photo here in the comments?
Yes, so I saw one, and congrats to Mr. Ng Boon Leong.
Yay!
Yeah. So actually,
I'm gonna write their name down.
He is also an SDI instructor.
Oh, perfect.
So I don't think he's eligible. No, just kidding. I'll get in touch with Boon Leong. I can assure that I didn't give him any clue. But okay, get back to this picture. This picture is really taken in Myanmar. And Myanmar actually has one of the nicest beach in the region. It's very unfortunate that they have to go through the current situation. What I heard is the Myanmar people are some of the most honest people you can find in the region. So we hope the best for them. And when things open up, they are definitely on my first list to go to. I mean, we have a dive center there in Myanmar now, and he's been saying, "Hey, bro, you got to come here. I'll bring you to the best beach, and then good diving, good cycling tracks." Yeah, so put that on your list as well.
Yes, I think we could all use a little dive vacation when this is all done.
Yeah.
All right. So, last and final question. I want to know, what is your favorite thing about where you live?
Well, I mean, if we talk about country-wise, as in Singapore, I really appreciate the security that the country has given us, the ease of doing business, getting on video calls, flying to anywhere in the world, or just setting up new ventures. I mean, Singapore is awesome to do business or connect with people. But I often think of myself living in Southeast Asia rather than Singapore, because Singapore, you can get from one end to the other end in 40 minutes by car.
Oh, wow.
So it's very small, and you can imagine how cooked up we are on the tiny island for more than a year. So I really see myself living in Southeast Asia rather than Singapore. So regarding Southeast Asia, what do I like most? It's really, like I mentioned before, the ease of traveling from one place to another place, the friendly people, the landscape of the area. You have anything from rainforest until some dry area where it's all brown, and then you have the highest peak in Southeast Asia, and of course you cannot forget the food. The food of Southeast Asia is amazing. The Thai cuisine, the Vietnam spring roll, or the Indonesian babi goreng. Yeah, it's a nice place to take a 2 weeks to 3 months holiday vacation just to say go.
Oh, I'm daydreaming. I want to go. Get me on a plane.
Very nice.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, Alex, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you. And I hope that everyone here learned a lot about Southeast Asia and has their bucket list prepared, and is ready to start traveling when things are opened up. Somebody has a last minute question. What sort of operational support may TDI SDI offer to open up a new market in the region? We will reach out to you personally and talk more about that. Anywho, Alex, thank you again. We will be back here next week, I believe, on the ERDI page, talking about standard versus mandate with Wes Kilgore, who joined me, I believe, last week on the pop quiz. So we will catch you next week for that. Alex, thanks again, and we will talk soon. Bye.
All right. Stay safe, everyone.